nonprofit has a story. Today we're going to find out more about the people behind the nonprofit. Welcome to Tea Time with the Central Virginia Business Coalition. I'm Heather Alto.
And I'm Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels.
And we are here with Love Heals. Are you ready to spill some tea?
Yes.
Awesome. So to get started, tell us a little bit about the story behind Love Heals.
Okay, Love Heals was started as a conversation with my friend who had breast cancer back in 2017. Because after her diagnosis, she kind of became cancer and people didn't know how to treat her. And so we talked about how do you love people who are trying to heal for over a year. And then in 2018, she reached out. She asked us to pray. She didn't have enough money for her treatment that she needed. So we threw her a concert and she came down and told her story at the event. We raised enough for the treatment. And we called it Love Heals because of the conversation. How do you love people who are healing? And turns out all you have to do is treat them the same as you did before, which was apparently a very novel concept. So people connected with it, and that is the origin story.
So how did this adventure kind of get started for you? Like turning into what it is now?
How did it get started for me?
How did you end up in a chicken suit?
That's a difficult story, Mike. How did I get in this suit today? I bet you're wondering.
One leg at a time, just like everybody else.
Yeah, one leg at a time, and then this very tall zipper, because this is a huge chicken. Anyway, turned it into a nonprofit. Actually had a conversation with Wendy Adams, if you know who that is. I was serving her table at a restaurant that I worked at, and after the first event, people were like, oh, we should do more. You should do more of these. When's the next one? And I was like, why? It's just a benefit concert. They happen all the time. I don't understand. So just like pulling apart the concept a bit more of like, okay, why are people connecting with it? They connect with the story. They connect with knowing where their money's going. They connect with live music and quality entertainment. So we kind of put that formula to the test and started experimenting with it, and along the journey just met people in the nonprofit world, shared the concept, and they were like, this is a nonprofit. It doesn't really exist anywhere else. No one's doing it quite like this, so I think you should start that process. And I always say, like, we had blinders on. I didn't know. If I had known, I probably wouldn't have done it, because it's really hard to start a nonprofit. But because I couldn't see all the hurdles that were going to come, I just kind of did the next step. Worked with really great people like Connors over at Liberty to help with the legal paperwork, and just other leaders here who helped us get it started. So, yeah.
Awesome.
It's a long journey.
So how did this adventure get started for you?
I met Courtney in 2021. And one of Courtney's really cool qualities is that she's high invitation. So they were about to go do a 300-mile bike ride through Southern California and then a show in Los Angeles for a woman that they were helping who had breast, bone, liver, and spleen cancer. So when I met her, they were a couple months out from that. I think the second time I met Courtney, she was like, do you want to come to California with us and do this entire thing? And I was like, no. I don't know you and you're wearing a giant chicken suit. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't wear it then. And I kind of just helped them volunteer at a bunch of stuff leading up to it because we did a show in Lynchburg. So I was helping them sell t-shirts and just hanging out with the people and started to understand the mission more. And I was manning a table one day and had a conversation with a woman. I just realized how many cancers never affected my family personally, thank God. But I had a lot of people come up to the table that I was kind of manning myself one day and just share their experiences with cancer and how it had affected their family. And that was a really big shock to me, how many people I talked to in the span of 45 minutes who had been really impacted by it. One lady with her son that she walked over who was 6, and she was like, he watched me battle cancer for 3 years. And she was in remission, and that was really cool. So I ended up actually taking 2 weeks off work, flying out to California. I skipped the biking because that sounded horrible, and flew to California and helped them with the show there. And we actually stayed with the woman that we were helping. So I got to help Courtney take her to a chemo appointment and walked her dog for her in the morning. And I just saw how really, really sick she was. She would wake up at 2 in the afternoon and go to bed at 5 in the evening. She just had no energy. So I got really immersed in what we were doing and got to see very firsthand how the show impacted her directly. And then they kind of couldn't get rid of me. So, yeah.
Well, and I feel like you've kind of answered this question in a roundabout way with what your last answer was. But when did you know that this was what you were meant to do? And either one of you or the chicken.
Chicken, you want to go first?
I would love to go first. The very first event for my friend, I'm a big believer that we all have a purpose that's God-given, whether or not you believe in that, that higher power or whatever has created you for a purpose on this earth, that you're not meaningless and your life matters. All human life matters. And so when we started putting the event together, it was less about it was about my friend, but it was about what we were building. The calls, the people you got to connect with. I just knew that was my purpose, to bring heaven to earth. I think that's important, that we bring chasms of peace and joy and love to earth, that we don't wait to get somewhere, but we bring it here. And so I just connected with the whole process of planning and loving and organizing people around one person. I just thought that was a really cool way to do that. So it was like the very first event I knew that was how I can do that. Sarah?
Are you looking at me?
Yeah.
I'm not a planner, so I kind of just do the immediate thing that's right in front of me that makes the most sense. And I think that's why I went to California. I have this why not mentality. If there's no reason why not, I'll probably just do it if it's in front of me. And the people were good, and why not? So I went and did it. I think, honestly, one day I think I just looked up, and I don't know if it's when I was on staff or on the board, but I think I just looked up one day and kind of realized there's nothing else I can picture myself doing at this stage in life. Maybe that'll change. I don't know. But, and this job is very hard. We catch a lot of really hard stories, and we kind of get the first wave of them, and then we try to figure out how to bring them into a joyful environment to share with other people and rally community around. And there have been times when I'm like, gosh, it'd be so much easier to go do anything else, but I wouldn't want to. And yeah, the way that we get to show up for people and the way that we do impact one person, like if I can think back to every show and see how, have the conversation with them afterwards and how it affected them, I kind of can't. I just don't think there's anything else I could do right now.
What are some of the biggest challenges that you face here in Central Virginia?
I think one, do you have one immediately? I have 4.
I mean, Lynchburg's traditional.
Yeah.
And as you can see, we're sitting here in a chicken suit talking about really hard things, but that's actually our MO, is how do we make hard things accessible? Because if you keep people, we're big believers that people aren't causes. And if you start to consider a person as a cause, we lose the plot, we lose the humanity, and we can't do that. And so the way to pull people out of becoming a cause, becoming the poor person, becoming the hungry, the needy, the whatever, the way you do that is you bring them out and you let them be who they are, and you get to know them as a person. So in a traditional town that doesn't understand so much of the nuance and the whimsy and the joy we try to bring in, I think they don't necessarily understand or connect with it as easily as other cities, bigger cities where Richmond, we can go very quickly and they get it. Or Chicago, we have people that want to put stuff out there. I mean, it's just they get it right away. In a town that has a formed thought around what helping should look like, what nonprofit service should look like, what cancer treatment should look like, or medical treatment, we just break that mold. And
it's a very different approach.
Yeah, and I think that because we break it, there's sometimes a hard time accepting our approach. So yeah, that's a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
And how do you navigate, and what keeps you pushing forward through that?
People, I think. Honestly, it's when we get good partnerships that maybe don't look like what we would have initially thought, like what we've talked about. But I would say the people that we do it for and the people we do it with, at least, is my motivator for us to keep going. Because honestly, every time that I feel like we're in a slump or we feel like it's a make or break move, someone shows up in a partnership that makes something move, or volunteers, or
so because you guys do the Love Heals Live once a month, and something I've noticed that seems to be kind of like a trend is like, this is my first time I've played by myself and sang.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like the tiny desk kind of feel, right? So it's people who were like, I've never done this, but I want to help. So let me, they may play in a band or something like that, or play worship at church, something like that. But they're like, here I am performing by myself. And sometimes they're doing songs like for the first time for other people. And if people are willing to step out and be a little different, just to be able to help and be able to give what they can.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what's pushed you through.
Well, I think like on the vein of what she was saying of like in a town that's very traditional and we kind of break that mold a little bit, that makes the people who get it that much more impactful.
Yeah.
Because in a town where we feel like we struggle to push certain things or move certain things, the people who come alongside us and get it are rare and really important.
So that kind of brings me to our next question. Like, why get started here in Central Virginia? Like, why is this where you guys chose to start Love Heals at? And I know y'all do travel all over, but this is kind of your home base, if you will. What makes this area special?
Well, I mean, Court, you started it.
Personally, I live on assignment. So again, that's just my personal like lifestyle choice. Like I feel assigned by God to be here. But when I like pull apart the assignment, I think this area forces us to, I think if we had started in a city that got it right away, I think we would have been burned out by how much need there is, because I think it would have been so quick to be like, oh, I just think it would have blown up, but I don't think we would have been able to handle that.
Yeah, you would have gotten like inundated with requests.
Yes,
like that.
And I think it wouldn't have ever forced us to think, how do we look at longevity? So right now we're working on a partnership in the trial phases with Parkview Mission to do a food is medicine pilot program to teach our lower income neighborhoods how food works medicinally. Like not just how do you cook it, not how do you save money. It's going to be both those things, but it's also going to be how does it work to heal inflammation, because we don't have access to basic information anymore, and you have to learn from each other. So it's forcing us to swim upstream and think, how do we get to systemic change? And it's just one step at a time. Like, we do these shows. But if we had only ever done the shows, we would have never started thinking, hey, there's broken policy here. There's systemic issue here. There's stuff that needs to come down. And what can we start doing? How can we be involved in more community gardens? Because that's important. Or how do we teach people to heal their gut? Like, how can we really get in there and start showing people a better way, work with local farmers? Like, all these things we're in discussions with. Like, we want to systemically change. And I think that's the blessing of being here in a spot that didn't connect with the shows right away. We had to pivot and think. But we can still do shows in all sorts of cities. So it's kind of like we got to do both. So, yeah.
And the cost of living is cheap.
And it's cheap, yeah. And, the community here is good. So,
So what makes this community special for you?
I mean, like, people, not everyone gets it from, like, the high dollar donor, whatever, like, corporate. But as far as, like, the people on the ground, they are just kind, and they're there to, like, answer questions. The people that we've found who aren't competitive but are collaborative have been really, really amazing. And I think it's been a safe place to try. Like, it's been a safe place to try and fail because we didn't have a ton of pressure or a ton of people banking on us. So we've been able to experiment. So I think there's a lot of safety in this town being how it is.
So how has the Central Virginia Business Coalition supported Love Heals' journey along the way?
You want me to answer?
Oh, you
Whomever.
can't. Sorry, I can't see you either.
Okay, I just don't want to talk over you.
No, you're good.
You guys, y'all, biggest support. Monthly donors pretty much right away came out of it, showing up at our polar plunge when we hosted that and we didn't know what we were doing. Sponsoring events, showing up for people we're hosting events for. Everything. It's been basically a huge backbone of that safety net, I guess, if you will, to help us get started. Definitely a very safe organization to partner with, and be different and try things. So
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So we're going to do some quick fire questions. The first one is the most controversial question we ever ask. Sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Neither. And I'm from the South.
Ah. How about you, Courtney?
I prefer sweet tea, but I drink unsweet tea.
Okay.
I don't like tea.
What is your favorite local business in the Central Virginia area?
Visiting Angels.
Right answer.
Visiting
That's
Angels.
2 episodes in a row. I'm just saying.
Wow.
See?
Visiting Angels.
You're
Same.
a great organization.
No, you guys are great.
Citizen of the Year.
There you go.
See what I'm saying?
There you go.
Look, you wore the chicken suit to pull the
So,
attention away from
I'm actually gonna steer away from one of our normal. Why the chicken suit?
Girl, why not?
Yeah,
you
why
go.
not?
Okay.
Chicken suit.
There it is. There it is.
What was the
Just
most
because.
random thing we could do to get attention?
So are we not going by the script now? We're just going to wing it?
What?
And we're right back.
Hey,
And here we are.
We've learned
Birds of a feather flock
Yes.
together. What can I
you
say?
just need to get attention, and this does it. So, and
really does.
Honestly, you guys want to hear a crazy story about this chicken suit? One day, I was suiting it up really fast, and I was in the Starbucks parking lot, and I was embarrassed because I don't like a lot of attention on me. And then a lady was watching us, and she was old, and I was like, she's gonna hate me. And then she rolled down her window, and she was giddy because she was like, I just had a rough day with my cancer treatments, and that made me smile. And so it's like you should put yourself out there.
Her son was like giving up
Yeah.
stuff to take her to treatments, and she was just sitting in the car. She got our card. I talked to her for a little bit, and she was like, "This was the highlight of my day." She made a whole post about it on Facebook.
Make yourself
Yeah.
uncomfortable because you never know who it might make smile.
And the origin of the chicken is because they did a series last year that they're bringing back this year where they had the
Year
2 years. Year 3. Wow.
3 years of chicken. I know.
So they had a chicken and they honked it and they were like, that's the impact of one gift. But now we're matching. So if you give one chicken, you get 2, and they're like honking, and then like all the chickens, and they had like 96 chickens, and they were trying to honk them all.
You should have seen me make that video because I had to lay out a bunch of chickens on the ground to record the honking noise because I don't know how to do any of this stuff on like the internet and like use a
Right.
computer. So I would like lay my leg on 8 chickens and then press 2 more and then press record, and then I'd go like,
It's the unofficial symbol of multiplication.
It is. It is. So during the month of May, there's actually a very generous donor who has offered to match every new Heartbeat member that joins during the month of May. So Heartbeat members, it's a monthly gift. Could be $5 to $100 a month. If you want to do $105, that's fine too. And basically, it supports the mission. So 100% of the money that Love Heals raises at concerts and things like that goes to the individual, but the Heartbeat members keep Love Heals going, hence the name Heartbeat. And that is I'm on their board, so that's the end of that commercial.
Good job, board
Yeah,
member.
I was going to say,
Good
think
job.
of this as the Love Heals telethon, if you will, today. So
Yeah.
become a Heartbeat member if you are watching Tea Time to support
Let's do it.
Yeah.
the Love Heals team and all of the people they support and the chicken.
And how would people get in touch with you if they want to join and be a Heartbeat member?
Go to weareloveheals.org and hit that big old donate button at the top.
And you're also on Facebook and Instagram.
and TikTok. Love Heals Official on Instagram, and then just like Love Heals on Facebook. Think Love Heals Official on
I'm
TikTok.
sorry, did you say TikTok?
It's never ending.
So I just think it's funny that you know what kind of shoes she has on?
Brooks.
Reeboks.
No,
No,
they're
they're
Brooks.
Brooks.
Brooks. That works too. Okay. Don't lay an egg. It's all right.
Sorry.
And
So-
now we digress.
Yeah.
We had to get the chicken jokes in. We were trying to figure out how to do it. So that's how. So
Yeah.
it may be a silly look, but it is a serious mission. So
Thank you.
that's my new catchphrase. I'm going to use that for everything I do
It's kind of good.
now.
It's dead
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
It
It's
is.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today. This has been Tea Time with the Central Virginia Business Coalition. And if you would like to learn more about our guests on the show, how to become a Heartbeat member, or how to become a guest and spill the tea with us yourself, you can contact us at cvabc.org.